Yo, what's going on, everybody? Today's video, we're going to be going over a huge content drop. We know that they just dropped the new Team Affinity Color Storm series. So before we get into it, though, make sure you just subscribe. But if you haven't already, turn those notifications on. Leave a like on the video, and in the comment section below, let me know what you thought about this content drop. If you thought it was a W, an L, just give me your thoughts, all right? Let's go ahead and get into it. Before we get into it, though, make sure you hit me up on Twitter at pitching_rebel or pitchingrebel1@gmail.com if you like to learn how to make endless stubs like I do, sitting over 4.2 million stubs. And that's because I know how to use the marketplace in order to make endless stubs. I do this every single year where I make over $10,000 worth of stubs and never ever have to worry about buying stubs, and two, having enough stubs to get whatever card I want whenever I want. This could be you as well if you take my lesson. So make sure you hit me up on Twitter at pitching_rebel or email pitchingrebel1@gmail.com if you do not have Twitter to inquire about my lesson. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the content. First, we're going to start off with the Spotlight Series program. So at 10 stars, you're going to end up getting this 88 overall Mick Abel, 82 hit per 9 with 91 pitching clutch, 88 K per 9, 6-7 walk per 9, 70 control, 4-seam, 12-6 slider, sinker, circle change, no quirks. Yeah, just a binder filler pretty much, but it's a free 99 card, grind 99 stars, not too much. And you got this Moises Ballesteros, primary catcher with a first base secondary, 98-81 versus right, 96-68 versus left, 99 clutch, 68 fielding with 33 speed. Not bad at all for a grind 99 catcher by any means. He is definitely a pretty damn good 88 overall, and also a good card as a catcher. Only thing he's lacking is power versus lefties, but his contact's nice, his clutch is nice. Gonna end up over 100 once you parallel hit him up in the parallel program. So yeah, not a bad card at all. This is a W card. And then you have Spotlight Series Wilmer Flores, who had a 3-homer game including a grand slam. First base primary with a second base and third base secondary. 96-98 versus right, that's pretty good. 88-92 versus left, that is not too good. I mean, is it awful? No, but as a first baseman, you want to see better hitting attributes, honestly. The 105 clutch, that's nice to see. Can get up to 110 at P5, 6-7 fielding with 54 arm, 6 reaction, 13 speed. So not a good fielder at first base, but we really want hitting there. Is the hitting good enough to be a first baseman? I don't think so. You need, in my opinion, you need better hitting attributes. The Jason Dominguez card from last week was better than this. So got to do better on this end for sure. Then we have the Spotlight packs. Here comes the base round. We got Christian Koss, another Giants player there, and he's gonna have a primary second base with a third base shortstop secondary. 99-76 versus right, 85-66 versus left, 95 clutch. I mean, not terrible for an 88 overall, but obviously there's a lot of second base options. He's just a binder filler. Then we got Justin Henry Malloy, primary right field with a third base and left field secondary. 66-93, 193, 90 clutch. Yeah, that's just not going to do it. Another binder filler. And then last but not least, you got Kurtz with a primary first base and a right field secondary. 82-101, 68-87, 80 clutch. Yeah, that's just another binder filler for sure. And then we have the rare round in Merrill Kelly and Will Benson. So Will Benson had a stretch where he hit 5 home runs in 4 games. 105, 116 versus right. I mean, that's absolutely insane attributes against righties, but then he goes 57-86 versus left, 95 clutch. Primary right fielder with a left and center field secondary, 71 fielding, 85 speed. I mean, speed's good. Fielding's okay, can hit righties really well. Clutches at 95, so 10 less than his highest contact rating, but then the lefties is just terrible. He's a platoon bat at best. And then last but not least, you got this Merrill Kelly, who has 98 hit per 9, 89 K per 9, 78 walks per 9 with 79 control, 91 pitch clutch. So the per 9s are not bad at all. Pitching clutch is pretty good, for starters this early in the year. And he's gonna have 4-seam, circle change, cutter, sinker, slider. So gonna have that sinker cutter combo. Pitch control 70 on the 4-seam, 99 on the circle change. That's crazy. 85 on the cutter, sinkers at 6-7, 75 on the slider. Break is 83 on the 4-seam, 94 on the circle change, cutters at 99. 80 on the sinker, 65 on the slider. I just don't think he's going to throw hard enough to be effective, to be honest. If he threw a little bit harder, sure, but those pitch speeds are definitely on the lower side of the 90s. So yeah, I don't know how effective he could be, especially being the fact his controls isn't even the greatest. So that's the new Spotlight cards. In my opinion, these are an L. Now let's go look at the new chase pack, the new Headliners card in Chris Taylor, standout from 2017. He's got primary center field with a second base, third base, shortstop, and left field secondaries. 96-81 versus right, and then 101-66 versus left with 94 clutch, 86 fielding with 86 speed. So he'll play a good center field for you, and then he can play, you know, other different positions really well. And the only thing he's really lacking, in my opinion, is the power against lefties. But besides that, his hitting's not bad by any means, especially for a headliner card. And then, of course, they had to put Ronald Acuna in the chase pack because he does return tonight for the first time since last year when he got injured. Primary right field, no secondaries. This is from his 2023 season where he went absolutely bonkers, had the 40-70 season. They made him into an all-star card. And this card does not reflect what he did in that year, nor do I think it's a very good chase card. 183 versus right, 94-82 versus left, 100 clutch, 66 fielding, so the fielding's not even good. 99 arm, yes, he has a cannon, and then 72 speed. He doesn't even have speed. Yes, he has stealing, but he doesn't have that speed that he normally gets. You brought down the defense, you brought down the speed, and he still ends up with subpar hitting attributes. I mean, at P5, he gets the 105-88 versus right, 99-87 versus left, 105 clutch. I don't know, man. He, you know, not only did he go 40-70, but he hit 335 that season, you know, over 340 versus righties, damn near 320 versus lefties. This doesn't reflect what he did in that season, and I don't like it. I really don't like it. It's going to be a card that costs a ton of stubs. I don't think he's worth it. This is another L in the chase pack department. Ever since Willie Castro, we've had 2 back-to-back L's. To the meat and potatoes of this video, we're going to go over the new Team Affinity cards. We'll start off in the American League with the Yankees. We will start off in the American League with the Yankees. We have Luis Gil, Color Storm, starting pitcher, and he's going to have 104 hit per 9 and 125 pitching clutch. This is, I think, the highest hit per 9 and pitching clutch that we have out of any pitchers, even higher than Roger Clemens, if I'm not mistaken. For sure, the pitching clutch, not sure about the hit per 9, though. Pitching clutch, he's definitely has the highest in the game as a starter. With that being said, he's got 4-seam slider, circle change sinker, no outlier. So for me, I mean, he throws it decently hard, and on GOAT, he could be kind of tough because it makes, you know, his per 9s are pretty good. I would rather have him had at least a 5th pitch that was at least a cutter or something like that, and he just doesn't have it. So is he a good starter? I mean, he's grind 99, you know, very good per 9s. Not bad, but he's not like in that elite tier for me, if I could say. But overall, solid card, especially for being a grind 99 card. Then you got Orioles Color Storm card. Now, these missions are separate from the My Journey missions, but you're still going to end up getting some My Journey stats along the way, of course. We're going to have Colton Cowser, left field primary, center field, right field secondaries, and he's going to have 88-99 versus right, 76-85 versus left with 76 clutch, 90 fielding with 99 arm, 74 reaction. The fielding's great, is not good. This is one of the probably the worst cards in this Team Affinity. Just overall wise, his hitting is just not going to play at this point in the year. But he is a captain card, so it does add for captain boost. We got the Red Sox Color Storm Series, Masataka Yoshida, and he's going to have 120-87 versus right, 94-80 versus left, 109 clutch. Fielding's god awful. 54 fielding, 45 speed. So if you put him in the outfield, just, you know, every time they hit the ball to him, just pray, send the prayer, and even then, that's not going to help. That being said, though, his hitting is very good. He's a DH for sure, and against righties, insane 120-87. You know, can get to that max 125 at P5 with over 90 power, and against lefties, he still holds his own. 94-80. Can get up to almost 100 at P5 with 99 contact, 85 power, and the clutch of that 109. Also very damn good, you know, can get above 110 once you get him to P2. Overall, hitting wise, this is probably going to end up being the best hitting card attribute wise in TA Color Storm Series cards. All right, we got the Rays next, and you got Josh Lowe here, 101-87 versus right, 83-70 versus left, 93 clutch, 70 fielding, 79 speed, primary right fielder, can play both secondary outfield positions. Another subpar card. Maybe slightly better than that Colton Cowser, but not a very good card. And Josh Lowe does have a really nice swing. It's really not that good of a card, honestly. Last but not least, you got the Blue Jays Color Storm Jeff Hoffman, 4-seam slider, splitter, sinker. And he does have 105 hit per 9 and 117 pitch clutch. Also pretty decent walks per 9 and control at 83 and 84 respectively. 95 K per 9. I mean, he doesn't have outlier, but That splitter at being at 91 miles an hour, four seam still upper 90s, sliders upper 80s, probably touching low 90s, sinkers mid 90s. He's not a bad reliever option by any means. He's got really good hit per nine, great pitching clutch, not a bad reliever option. And we got this Bo Naylor, primary catcher, no secondaries. And he's got 93, 103 versus right, 87, 83 versus left, and 94 clutch. Not bad for a catcher by any means. He also has decent defense at 85 fielding, 48 speeds, okay. Not bad, right? You know, get him to P5, 98, 108, 88 versus left at P5, 99 clutch. Also has captain. The Guardians we know that the Guardians have their first captain, which is Andrew Miller. So you can use a pitcher and a catcher and raise, you know, not only the contact, but the power versus both sides, fielding ability. I mean, not a bad option by any means. Definitely one of the higher tier options for this team affinity. All right, we got Michael Wacha. And Michael Wacha is going to be the Kansas City Royals Color Storm Series card. 87 hit per nine, 79 K per nine, or 76 K per nine, 92 walks per nine, 90 control. So control's good. 97 pitch clutch. That's also really good. The hit per nine's a little bit low though. Four seam circle change cutter, slider sinker. I mean, he doesn't throw terribly slow. Mid 90s fastball and sinker. Also has a sinker cutter combo. Nice, really slow changeup. Kind of slow slider too. Control on all his pitches. I mean, breaks really good on his cutter at 99. Circle change also really high break. Sinker's kind of slacking on the break, but Michael Wacha's, I wouldn't say he's going to be a terrible option as a grind 99 card. And he does throw kind of funky. Yeah, I mean, as a free pitcher, I could see him being in a lot of rotations, to be honest. All right, Tigers is going to be Javi Baez, primary shortstop, but he does have third base, center field, secondaries, 87, 87 versus right, 186 versus left, with 112 clutch. That's nice to see. He also has pretty good fielding with 80, so gold defense at short. Not a bad card by any means. You know, could get above 90 on all his attributes for hitting at P5, 92, 92 versus right, 105, 91 versus left, 117 clutch. Javi Baez is a nice card to have. Grind 99, can plug him in at shortstop, third base, or center field. He could probably play a decent second base as well, even though he'd be out of position. Not a bad card by any means. Actually, it's a W. One of the better cards probably for TA as hitter. Royce Lewis, primary third base, no secondaries though. 90, 107 versus right, 97, 78 versus left, 104 clutch, 85 fielding, 48 speed, so gold defense at third. Hitting's not bad at all. The power against lefties is kind of slacking, but if we can get it above that, get him to P3 where he gets the 81 power versus left, he will have that top diamond going. So that's always good to see. And he's got great clutch, and then everything else is fine besides that 78 power. And Royce Lewis has a heck of a swing. All right, last AL Central card is going to be for the White Sox. We got Andrew Benintendi, Benny Biceps, 94, 101 versus right. That's good. 80, 90 versus left. That's not that good, actually. It's okay. At this point of the year, not that good. 88 clutch with 62 fielding, 60 speed. I mean, his fielding sucks. Speed's not that good. Not a good card. Not a good card by any means. We're on to the AL West now with this Brian Abreu for the Astros. Four seam, slider, circle change. So not a great pitch mix. Doesn't have outlier on the four seam, but he does have elite hit per nine. 114 hit per nine, 105 K per nine, and 118 pitching clutch. 65 walks per nine, but he does have 88 control. I mean, control is good on pretty much every pitch. Breaks pretty good on every pitch. If he had outlier, you can make a case for him being very good. But, I mean, he's still on GOAT. Sure, he's going to be good. He throws hard enough or whatever. But there's definitely better reliever options right now in the game for sure. All right, we got Brian Wu, starting pitcher for the Mariners. We got a four seam, a sinker, a slider, a circle change, and a sweeper. 95 hit per nine, but he only has 84 pitch clutch. That's kind of low. 73 K per nine with 84 control. Doesn't have outlier or anything like that. If he had a cutter, you can kind of make an argument for him. And his pitch mix isn't terrible by any means. It's just you kind of want to see that sinker cutter combo when you don't have outlier in the four seam. All right, on to Rangers. We got Jack Leiter, son of Outlighter. Four seam, slider, sinker, circle change, curveball. 92 hit per nine, 83 K per nine, 89 walks per nine, 90 pitch clutch, 79 control, no outlier. Again, seeing a guy without an outlier and no cutter. I mean, the per nines aren't terrible, but again, if you don't have outlier, you definitely want to see that cutter with that sinker combo. We got Brent Rooker, primary right field, left field, secondary. Fielding's terrible, 52, 66 speed. We'll get that out the way. He's a DH. But the hitting's pretty good. 95, 101, 99, 108, and then 95 clutch. So the clutch isn't too much lower than his highest contact rating. He'd get over 100 or at 100 or higher for everything once you get him to P5, right? 100 contact versus right with 106 power. 104 contact versus left with 113 power, and then 100 clutch. I mean, yeah, overall, he's a pretty good right-handed hitter. And, you know, just know that he's a DH because if you throw him in the outfield, he's going to be playing common defense out there. And then last but not least, we got this Ben Joyce, who is going to be an absolute menace on the bump. 113 hit per nine with 104 K per nine, 112 clutch. Let's get that out the way. That's elite. 65 walk per nine with 81 control. Control's not that great. But he does have a four-seam sinker slider triple change. And with that four-seam sinker, he has outlier on both of them. Because we know that Ben Joyce throws the piss out of the ball, and that's what he's going to do in the game. You got a slider at 83, then he throws that four-seam at 102 to 104, or 101 to can get up to 104. A sinker that's going to be absolute gas. Yeah, he's got insane pitch speed differentials. Then he also has a circle change. I could definitely see Ben Joyce's in a lot of bullpens, and he's one of the top options for Team Affinity, to be honest with you. I will be getting him as one of my top picks first because I want him in my pen. On to the NL East and National League just in general. We got this JT Realmuto, which we voted for on the fan votes. I don't know if you guys did, but I know I put in JT Realmuto as my vote. And he's going to be primary catcher, no secondaries. 90-80 versus right, 93-82 versus left, 93 clutch, 75 fielding, 75 speed. I mean, not a bad option by any means at catcher. Is he the best? No, but he's not bad by any means at catcher. Another fan voted card in Mark Vientos, primary third base, no secondary. 95, 103 versus right, 98, 92 versus left, 90 clutch, 69 fielding. Not the greatest fielder, 37 speed, not that much speed, but hitting's pretty good. Only thing I wish he had higher was the clutch. It is lower than both his contact ratings, but it's not too far behind. But still, I'd like to see a higher clutch where he could at least get to 100 clutch at P5, and that is not the case. Overall, not a terrible card by any means. He has a great swing too, so that'll help. Now, we got another third baseman that we voted for, Austin Riley. Now, he does have pretty damn good hitting. 98-80 versus right, and then 102-98 versus left with 110 clutch. That's elite clutch. 74 fielding, 72 arms, so silver defense at third. Now with Austin Riley, he does have a little bit lower power against righties, but it can get up to 85 at P5. That's going to be good. Fine and dandy there. Is going to get over 100 contact versus both and his power against lefties. And then the clutch is going to end up at 115. Overall, he is obviously a better hitting third baseman than Mark Vientos. And he's probably, I would say, Yoshida's got the best hitting attributes. I'd say Austin Riley is going to end up having the second or third hitting attributes, depending if you think Rooker's better than him. Next, on to the Washington Nationals. We voted for Keibert Ruiz, so we got a switch hitting catcher. 114-71 versus right, 94-69 versus left. So the contact ratings are good. Power is where you wish he had a bit more of. 108 clutch, also really good. And he has that 110 vision, so that's really good. 64 fielding, 22 speed. Not a good defender by any means. But the hitting's there. At P5, he gets it to 119-76 versus right, 99-74 versus left with 113 clutch. Again, the only thing he's really missing is that power. But besides that, his contact ratings are nice, and so is his clutch. If you don't have Posada, Santana, or Grandal, because they all cost quite a bit of stubs, I would go with Keibert as my starting catcher. Xavier Edwards, primary shortstop, second base, secondary, 120-51 versus right, 103-39 versus left, 106 clutch. So contact clutch is insane. 65 fielding, terrible defense at short. I'd put him at second rather than short. And 85 speed. Power's not there, but at least the hitting is, and so is the clutch, and the speed's pretty good too. Is he a bad option? No, just know you're not going to get pop out of him. Simple as that. All right, moving on to the Brewers, and we're going to have Sal Frelick. Sal Frelick's going to be a primary right fielder with both secondaries left and center. 100 contact versus right, 51 power, and then 102 contact versus left with 55 power. 95 clutch, great fielding at 89, great speed at 94 as well. Just doesn't have pop. Simple as that. It's simple as that. On to the Cardinals. Victor Scott, 105-63 versus right, 95-52 versus left, 100 clutch, 86 fielding with 99 speed. So absolute menace on the bases. Going to play good defense with high goal defense and that crazy speed. He just doesn't have pop. The hitting's not terrible. 105 and 95 contact. That's not bad. The clutch isn't either. It's just the lack of pop is what really is going to hold them back. And we got the Cubs Color Storm card, which is going to be Mr. Nico Horner. 106.52 versus, or he's going to be 152 versus right, 106.50 versus left, 100 clutch. I mean, contact's great again. Fielding's good at 95, 78 speed's decent. Can play shortstop as well. Lack of power is what we're going to set. What we've seen in these last 3 cards. It's just that lack of power. For me, I don't like to see that, especially at this point in the year already. We got Nick Lodolo, 4-seam sinker, circle change slurve, 84 hit per 9 with 93 walks per 9, 87 K per 9, and 88 pitching clutch, 82 control. Doesn't have that outlier on his 4-seam or sinker, and doesn't have that 5th pitch. Just, I don't see a spot for him in the rotation, to be honest. And then the last NL Central team is going to be the Pirates. We got Jared Jones, 87 hit per 9 with 83 K per 9 and 84 walks per 9, 100 pitching clutch. And then he's going to have a 4-seam, a slider, 12-6 circle change sinker. He throws pretty hard, upper 90s with the 4-seam and mid 90s with the sinker. Just doesn't have that outlier. Does have that upper 80s slider as well. And the per 9s aren't really that enticing. Could he be okay? Yeah, sure. But yeah, there's you really want a guy with either outlier or sinker cutter combo as a starter, to be honest. We got Blake Trinan, one of the better relievers in this program. He's always good, and he's gonna have 108 hit per 9, 85 K per 9, 88 walks per 9, 87 control with 123 pitch clutch. So at P2 he gets 125 pitch clutch, over 110 at hit per 9 we can get him to. Sweeper sinker, 4-seam cutter. The only thing he's missing is a circle change. I would like to see that. Did they give him outlier? They did not give him outlier on the sinker, but he still throws it pretty hard. Pitch control is very good on all pitches, and so is the pitch break. So yeah, Blake Trinan could definitely be a piece in the bullpen. Blake Trinan could definitely be a nice piece addition to the bullpen. That's gonna be grind 99. Cronenworth, 95-85, 89-72, 91 clutch, primary, second base, first base, secondary. Very good fielding at 88. Okay speed. I mean, hitting's okay. Nothing out of this world. Not really that enticing of a card. We got the Diamondbacks in this Lourdes Gurriel. And primary left field, no secondaries. 78-84 versus right. 110-81 versus left. That's good. And the clutch is at 95. That's not bad at all either. He does have 82 fielding, which that's surprising with 50 speed. Hitting's okay, nothing spectacular. He's a lefty killer with decent clutch. That's all it is, really. We got this Jung Ho Lee, primary center field, left field, right field, secondaries. 96-58 versus right, 99-75 versus left, 108 clutch. The clutch is insane. Contact's really good. Again, another card that's lacking power, though. Whole defense in center with 80 speed. I'd throw him in left or right. That's where I think he'd be better at. And he has an absolute hose at 99 arm. But again, this card with the lack of power is what's going to be holding him back. And then last but not least, we got the Colorado Rockies. Ezekiel Tovar, primary shortstop, no secondary. 94-68 versus right, 90-76 versus left, 93 clutch. Has max fielding at 99 and then 77 speed. So going to play a heck of a defense for you at short. Decent speed. Hitting's not terrible. Just wish he had more power against righties. Even against lefties, you honestly want more power as well. But you can deal with the 70s power because of how good his defense it is like that. But he just doesn't have that last final touch that I'm seeing that I want to see with my hitters with, which I want some power. So yeah, that's just not gonna play. I'd say they're pretty mid, to be quite honest. You have a lot of good relievers, couple good starters, and the hitters do lack behind the power curve currently. You got a few good ones: Rooker, Yoshida, Mark Vientos, Austin Riley. But besides that, I mean, Xavier Edwards, I guess, if you value that contact, but K-Bird's pretty good too. Yeah, just pretty mid. From last week's content drop in the Moonshot, we ended up with this. Would have liked to see some better attributes in a lot of different places. And then another L on the chase pack. This content drop is definitely not following suit from what they had last week. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Turn those notifications on. Leave a like on the video. And in the comment section below, let me know what you think about this content drop, if you thought it was a W or not, and which Team Affinity cards you're looking forward to getting first, and who cracks your squad from that Storm Series cards. All right. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you next video. Love y'all. Peace.